a very learned person, nor a mufti, or not even a preacher. But many of my non-Muslim friends, they keep asking me. One thing I know, I like to dig into a bit of details of things and like to know the reality of it. Just to know, just to satisfy myself that why was a certain thing prescribed or not prescribed. Well, this brought me to a very long quest asks among the non-Muslim, how come Muslims are out to marry four women and marry four women at the same time? And that's something that is a very big privilege. You can be your life. And what happens to the women otherwise? Like, don't they suffer? I was thinking, let's take it very easy way. First of all, there are rules and regulations, and behind, like Spider-Man says, with every power comes a lot of responsibilities. This is number one. Another one is with this one, with this permission. First of all, this was done in the days when prophets and there were wars. There were a lot of people becoming widowed because their husbands used to die in the war and things like that. So like now these women have children. They have only one way out, and obviously there was too many corporates and working places and things like that. So either they would do two things: they would become prostitutes to fulfill their house needs, or to fulfill their house needs and sexual needs. Rather than that, Prophet prescribed that they are allowed to get married, and people, by the way, who used to get married and take them as wives, mostly used to be the people taking another wife not as a virgin. They would take them as divorcees, people who are not able to fulfill their house needs and stuff like that. Besides, that came in with a very major rule: you're supposed to treat each of your wives equally. Many people don't even understand that or not even go into the details of that. I would put that as, let's say, all of us are humans, and each one of us have been presented a Lamborghini or a Bentley by Allah. And Allah said, go ahead, a Bentley has been parked under your door. What are you going to do? Just take the keys and go and drive the Bentley away? Think about it. Would you do that? No. You would first go and get a driving license, right? That's what we all Muslims are doing. Many Muslims are doing. Just driving out a Bentley without even having a driver's license. Dude, go ahead, learn about it. Having said that, you're even supposed to take care of them financially. That's a prime responsibility. When you call upon a nikah, that means it's a contract that I'm taking care of this woman and the children that are going to come by that forever or until I divorce her. So that means, obviously, when you take up a second or a third responsibility or a commitment or a wife, you're supposed to ensure that the first woman or the house has been taken care of financially, the fees are not pending, the children are going to school properly, and the household necessary utilities and the requirements have been paid off properly. And the same has been done to the second and the third woman. How many people of us do that, actually? Or in these times, especially so many trials and tribulations going around, how many of us can financially afford that? Hardly we can manage our own one house. But people ignore, they choose to ignore it. What's even more scarier, and people are very ignorant about, is the consequences of this. People think it's okay, it's allowed, I'm going ahead and doing what was said in the Quran or prescribed. But they do not see the consequences that are mentioned. If a person is injured, taking a second wife or a third wife is a very huge responsibility, emotionally, financially, sexually, physically, in every way. And if you're not capable enough, and if you're doing unjust to any one of these responsibilities, you fall in the day of judgment. You fall right under the hell while crossing the bridge of Sirat. But who wants to know all these details? It's okay. Who's seen, like, thereafter, who's seen so many other consequences? It's okay as far as I've done what the Sunnah says. It's so easy that Sunnah even says that after the Fajr, after the main Fard prayers, we are supposed to do the Sunnah prayers. But how many of us do that? Hardly a few. But those very people would ignore to choose the prime Sunnah rather than taking up a couple of wives, because that's Sunnah. Lastly, you're not supposed to divorce your first wife just because your second wife demands to do so. That is completely a very, very biggest injustice a person can do. So, do you still think you can get married 2, 3, and 4?